30th of November 2024. Welcome to Somalia's premier #1 station for news and updates, Dalsan TV. I'm your presenter Abdurrahman Yusuf. Tonight, quite a lot of stories prepared for you, but lovely viewers. First, take a look at the stories that are making our headlines. Turkish-trained elite commandos graduate in Ankara. WFP halts aid in SSC Khartoum amid looting. Insecurity. Prime Minister's Hamza advisor resigns. President Mahmoud joins the EAC heads of state summit in Arusha. Inter-clan clashes in central Somalia leave 6 dead and 10 injured. Lovely viewers, now let's delve into a full bulletin. Hundreds of Somali Gorgor unit commandos graduated on Friday from an advanced training program in Turkey, making a significant step in bolstering Somalia's fight against Al-Shabaab militants. The training conducted under a bilateral agreement between the Mogadishu and Ankara focused on equipping the elite soldiers with skills to address complex security challenges in the Horn of Africa. Hundreds of Somali Gorgor unit commandos graduated on Friday from an advanced training program in Turkey, making a significant step in bolstering Somalia's fight against Al-Shabaab militants. The training resulted under a bilateral agreement between Mogadishu and Ankara, focused on equipping the elite soldiers with skills to address complex security challenges in the Horn of Africa. Somali Defense Minister Abdulqadir Mohammed Noor praised Turkey's unwavering support, describing it as vital for Somalia's peace and security. During his meeting with the Turkish Vice President, Cevdet Yilmaz earlier this week, Noor reaffirmed Somalia's commitment to strengthening ties with Turkey across various sectors. Turkey has been a steadfast ally, aiding Somalia in defense, education, healthcare, and infrastructure development. It also operates its largest overseas military training base in Mogadishu, a cornerstone in Somalia's military revival. This graduation underscores a deepening partnership between the nations and Somalia's ongoing efforts to rebuild its security forces amid persistent threats from Al-Shabaab. The World Food Programme has suspended humanitarian operations in Somalia's SSC Khartoum region, citing escalating insecurity and repeated looting of aid. The decision follows the theft of 95 metric tons of supplies in Bohodle district within 3 days, leaving over 51,900 people without assistance. The stolen aid, intended for 8,655 vulnerable households, included provisions for the malnourished children, pregnant women, and displaced families.
The World Food Programme (WFP) has suspended all operations in Somalia's SSC Khartoum region, citing escalating insecurity and repeated looting of critical food aid. The decision follows the theft of 95 metric tons of supplies in Bohodle district within 3 days, leaving over 51,900 people without assistance. The stolen aid, intended for 8,655 vulnerable households, included provisions for malnourished children, pregnant women, and displaced families. WFP Somalia Country Director Al-Kidir Dalum described the suspension as difficult but necessary, urging local authorities to restore security and protect humanitarian workers. Former Puntland Minister of Planning Mohammed S. Farole called for WFP to engage directly with SSC Khartoum authorities, highlighting long-standing politicization of aid in the region. SSC Khartoum remains a hotspot for political and clan tensions, with ongoing clashes exacerbating instability. The suspension is a significant setback for the region, heavily reliant on international aid amid Somalia's broader humanitarian crisis, where 6.6 million face acute food insecurity. WFP has urged action, warning without a secure environment, the most vulnerable communities will suffer.
The resignation of Shamsa Abdulqadir Dahir, a senior advisor on women affairs and humanitarian in Somalia's Prime Minister office, has exposed escalating tensions within the country's fragile federal system. In a resignation letter addressed to Prime Minister Hamza Abdi Barre, detailed what she described as an intolerable working environment, accusing the federal government of targeting her based on regional affiliation with Jubaland.
The resignation of Shamsa Abdulqadir Dahir, a senior advisor of women's affairs and humanitarian rights in Somalia's Prime Minister's office, has exposed escalating tensions with the country's fragile federal system. Dahir's allegation of systematic discrimination, abuse of power, and harassment have raised fresh concerns about governance and intergovernmental relations in Mogadishu, In a resignation letter addressed to Prime Minister Hamza Abdi Barre, Dahir detailed what she described as an intolerable working environment, accusing the federal government of targeting her based on her regional affiliation with Jubaland. Dahir's accusations echo long-standing grievances between Somalia's federal government and its semi-autonomous states, particularly Jubaland. She also criticized Mogadishu's interference in Jubaland's internal affairs. The federal government has deployed troops to the strategic port city of Ras Kamboni, signaling a growing military build-up in the region.
Somalia President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud arrived in Arusha on Friday to attend the 24th Ordinary Summit of the East Africa Community Heads of State. This year's summit marks a significant milestone as the regional bloc celebrates its 25th anniversary. The EAC summit brings together leaders from member states to address pressing regional challenges including security, economic integration, and infrastructure development. President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud arrived in Arusha on Friday to attend the 24th Ordinary Summit of the East Africa Head of State. This year's summit marks a significant milestone as the regional bloc celebrates its 25th anniversary. The EAC summit brings together leaders from member states to address pressing regional challenges, including security, economic integration, and infrastructure development. The topics on the agenda include South Sudanese Tumaini Initiative, aimed at fostering peace and development in the young nation, and the EAC-led Nairobi process, which seeks to restore stability in the conflict-ridden East Africa Democratic Republic of Congo. President Mohamud is expected to highlight Somalia's progress in state building, particularly its efforts to enhance governance, rebuild economic infrastructure, and promote trade and educational partnerships with neighboring countries. The discussions aim to strengthen cooperation on critical regional issues, including trade, security, and counterterrorism. The East Africa Community, founded in 1999, has been a cornerstone of regional cooperation in East Africa. The bloc, which includes Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi, South Sudan, and the Democratic Republic of Congo, has worked to promote economic integration, sustainable development, and stability. Somalia has been pursuing closer ties with the EAC as part of its broader strategy to re-establish its role in the regional and international arena. The country has made strides in governance and development despite challenges such as insecurity and climate change. This summit represents an opportunity for Somalia to strengthen its engagement with regional partners and contribute to collective solutions for shared challenges. At least 6 people were killed and 10 others injured on Friday afternoon in renewed inter-clan fighting along the volatile border of Somalia's Hiran and Middle Shabelle regions. According to local residents, the conflict erupted in Aldere, rural area between the armed groups from Hawadle and Abgal clans over resource disputes. At least 6 people were killed and 10 others injured on Friday afternoon in renewed inter-clan fighting along the volatile border of Somalia's Hiran and Middle Shabelle regions. According to local residents, the conflict erupted in Aldere rural area between armed groups from the Hawadle and Abgal clans over resource disputes. Despite the recent high-profile efforts for reconciliation, including a meeting of the traditional elders and political leaders from both clans in Mogadishu last week, the situation has continued to escalate. Calls for calm have yet to yield results, heightening concern for further violence. Reports from the area indicate that residents have started fleeing their homes in anticipation of heavier clashes. The recent fighting allows similar clashes in Al Baraf and Jalalaqsi districts earlier this week, underscoring the fragile security situation in the region. Lovely views. That devastating story from Somalia's Hiran region brings us to the end of our bulletin. Wish to thank the Dalsa media fraternity for making this news edition a success, especially my cameraman Ilkase and our producer Mohammed Hafan Alfa. Have yourself a lovely night and be blessed.